Hey guys, what's up? This is John, aka Jin45764, totally testing, and today's kind of a little bit of a secret stream. I'm streaming NHL 16 HUT Hockey Ultimate Team, cause I kind of wanted to talk about the Sharks and their playoff run. I kind of stopped doing the NHL update stuff when the playoffs started, cause I was kind of bummed out the Devils didn't make it. But the Sharks are my Western Conference team. They're like my second favorite team, and I cannot believe they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, I know they're not doing too well right now, but just having them make it that far is just insane. But we'll get to that in a moment. First off, let me show you my HUT team that I'm gonna bring into the next match. Then we'll talk about all the hockey stuff. So first off, this is called USA All the Way, kind of, sort of. There's only like 5 or 6 USA guys, and then a hodgepodge of dudes. So my first line is Galchenyuk with Kucherov and Vanek on the sides or wings. I had Galchenyuk as a captain, but I kind of stripped him off of it because of things that I had to do. But I'm just gonna leave him be. Line 2, I have Logan Couture as assistant with Zach and Forsberg on the wings. Pretty balanced line. They're pretty much complement each other. Couture with the slight boost with the assistant. Your third line is Ryan Johansson with Edom and Yakupov on the wings, which isn't too bad. Edom, not the greatest in the world, but he fits that Team USA kind of slot, so I had to put him in. Johansson not bad at an 88. If you put a captain card on him, he's pretty solid, to be honest. And your fourth line is Chris Tierney, Steve Bartucci. I keep I mess up his name all the time, and Paul Thompson, which is it's fourth line. So getting like at least an 80 on your fourth line is not too bad at all. So they're it's not terrible. My defensive pairs, I have Victor Hedman and Adam Larson. That's pretty much my go-to number one defense all the time. Hedman's got the assist, so his stats a little bit boosted. Goligoski and Justin Braun for line 2 for defensive. And my third pairing is Mark Griani and Daniel Girardi. I had to put a silver guy in there because you can only have a certain amount of gold people in the tournament I'm in right now. My goaltenders are Corey Schneider and Ken Appleby. Just throw in backup guy. Where is he? There he is, Ken Appleby. And then that's my coach guy. So I'm gonna go into my match here. That stuff. Alright. We're gonna go. So all of this is all in superstar level. I won the first 2 games which were against NHL teams, and then I lost 3 straight against AHL teams. So now I gotta really pick up the pace. But if you guys ever played superstar mode in NHL, they do not give up real easily, and they will not give you much. So I mean, scoring bad goals or glitching them out is probably the only way you're gonna get anything past them. So speaking of which, let's talk about the Sharks. I mean, who would have thought that the Sharks would make it this far? I sure as hell didn't. I thought they were gonna lose to the Kings again in round 1. The Kings looked pretty good. San Jose had an okay season, nothing to really speak about, but the other California teams had better seasons. I mean, Anaheim started out bad in December, up to December, and then they just killed it for the rest of the year and made it into the playoffs. I think they got the 1 seed in the Pacific. And then LA has been pretty good for the most part of the season. They were first for the most part of the season, then they kind of slacked off in the second half of the season. And then just you had San Jose, who started out a little wobbly, and then either they turned it on, or the really terribleness of the Pacific Division kind of showed itself as San Jose got the 3rd spot, and then after that it was like Arizona or Vancouver, who were several points behind. But San Jose had the best road record, I believe, in the NHL, or one of the top ones. Their home record wasn't that great, so you would think that something like that would not fly in the playoffs. Like, if you had home ice advantage, it could have been home ice disadvantage, but for the Sharks, it wasn't really like that. They dispatched the Kings in 5, which was crazy. So I guess the Kings' formula of bruising the other team is starting to fade out, or their players are starting to fade out. Take your pick. And then San Jose had Nashville second round. That was not an easy matchup at all. Took them to 7, and the Sharks capitalized on their home ice advantage. That scared me a lot. I didn't think they would beat St. Louis. St. Louis had a really good offensive core. Their defense was alright too. I just thought their goaltending was a little bit suspect, because, I mean, if you're a St. Louis fan, you always gotta be, like, wary of Allen and Elliott, because they're not elite number ones, you know, they're good number ones. So there's always that question of whether or not they're good enough. I think they answered that question by making it to the conference final. Like, they're starting to, you know, prove the haters wrong, but it still wasn't good enough. But also, San Jose really did a great job shutting down Tarasenko and company. So, I mean, that helped too. They couldn't get many goals. I think Martin Jones got a couple shutouts, or that could have been the Nashville series that he got the 2 shutouts in a row. But San Jose did a masterful job on defense, and that's kind of one of the things that makes San Jose a little bit special this year, is that their defense is a little bit better than usual. If you've been a Sharks fan for a while, you know that, like, for the most part, they focus on offense and scoring and whatnot. But this year, they seem like they've kind of worked their defense out, and guys like Justin Braun, who was like a 7th rounder, are starting to, you know, get more responsibility in taking on the big matchups, and he's like doing well. And of course, you have your Marc-Edouard Vlasics, who are doing well too, and Paul Martin's doing great too. So with that, like, their defense has gotten better. And their forwards, of course, you know, you got Couture, Pavelski, Marlowe, Thornton. Those guys, you know, those guys just do what they do. And now they can spread them within 3 lines, and their 4th line, you know, is good enough with Dinah Zubris, Tommy Wingles, and insert winger here. So, not too bad, if you look at it. But heading into this Pittsburgh series, it kind of worried me. Like, I would have rather had Tampa Bay as a opponent, although they got Steven Stamkos back on Game 7, so it could have, you know, it could have been the same fate, to be honest, but we'll never know. But with Pittsburgh, like, they had guys that were contributing that really didn't, like Connor Sheary, you know, Rust, and they had the HBK line of Hagelin, Bonino, and Kessel firing on all cylinders. So they had 3 really good lines. Their 4th line was doing enough where it wasn't hurting them. So they were very dangerous. Matt Murray has been on fire. So he's kind of like done what Martin Jones is doing for the Sharks, which is, you know, playing pretty good goaltending. Although I would say Martin Jones kind of gets rattled when he gives up a lot of goals. So there's that little knock on him. But Matt Murray's been pretty solid for the most part. Fleury had to bail him out once, and that's about it. And you know, it just scared me. And I know Pittsburgh's defense is not the greatest in the world, but still pretty good. And Pittsburgh, when their strategy pretty much was to play the John Tortorella school of hockey, which is blocking shots all day, all night, all the time. I'm surprised none of the Pittsburgh players have broken bones already for blocking all those Brett Burns shots. Crazy. But Pittsburgh found a way, and they knew they were the faster team. I mean, if they didn't know before Game 1, like, when they were playing Game 1, they must have known that they were the faster team. So they took that to their advantage. And San Jose has struggled the whole entire series, which kind of sucks. If I'm sure they're gonna show a graphic on the game tomorrow, but San Jose has not led at all in the series, and I know you're asking, well, how did they win the game? Well, they won in overtime. That kind of doesn't count, but it's insane. And one of the keys for tomorrow night is that they have to score the first goal. There is no excuse anymore. They have to score the first goal. I mean, if not to set a precedent that they're not going to fold against Pittsburgh in Game 5, is to at least give Martin Jones some glimmer of hope that if he does a good job, that, you know, he could steal a game for them. You can't steal a game when you're down. So, I mean, giving Martin Jones a chance to steal a game is like, it's all the world. Although, if I were San Jose, I'd score way more than one goal, because most of the time it's not gonna hold. So, I mean, I know there's 60 minutes in a game, but it could be over in the first period if Pittsburgh scores. Like, it's very scary. And the guys that are paid to, you know, get goals and contribute have to contribute too. That's another key. And it's not like they're not trying or anything. It's just Pittsburgh is doing a great job at controlling them. Joe Thornton has gotten quality shots, but you kind of want to replace Joe Thornton with Joe Pavelski getting those shots. And Brett Burns has had the hardest time in the world trying to get his shot through. Like, Pittsburgh is they are just laying the body down, several bodies down, just so they can block that shot. And, I mean, Burns has a wicked release. Like, if he gets in close and throws that release in, there's a good chance it's going in. But, I mean, Pittsburgh is just not giving him a chance. And guys like Justin Braun, they don't even give a shit about. And Justin Braun scored 2 goals. They give him no respect. They're like, you know what? Take the shot. We don't even give a shit. And if they're gonna give Justin Braun like all the time in the world to take a shot from the point, then I would just, if I was Justin Braun, just take the shot. And he's smart enough to delay the shot, so if someone does try to block it, you know, he'll just shoot it over the guy. His second goal, I believe, is a good example of that in the last game, or the game before. Sorry, Game 2 or Game 3. Sorry, I don't even know where I'm going anymore. Just trying to focus on the Game 2, but his goal in Game 3. If you see the replay or GIF or whatever, he waits for a screen to appear, whether or not it was from Michael Carlson or a defenseman, and he waits for the guy to slide through. So when you're looking at the replay, you see the guy sliding through about quarter or halfway. He knows the guy's there, so he shoots high. And then with the screen forming, Matt Murray had no chance. He didn't even react until it went in. It was ridiculous. Also my favorite GIF. So, I mean, if they're gonna give Justin Braun that kind of shot, then if I were him, I'd just take it. I'd just keep taking shots. Because why the hell not? I mean, they're so good at blocking Brett Burns. Like I have no real clue on how Brett Burns can get open without maybe switching him to forward, which is a huge gamble. But when your backs are against the wall, you might as well try anything you possibly can. I was thinking that Pete DeBoer might just play Russian roulette with all the lines and just switch them all up so that Pittsburgh has no idea what's coming. Because, I mean, the Couture, Pavelski, Thornton line had a little bit of magic. Not last game though, kind of simmered down. And then he put Donskoy in, who was the overtime winner in game number 3. So I mean, he's got plenty of guys to put on the wing with those two guys, with Pavelski and Thornton. But maybe it's time to break those guys up and give some other guys a chance. Oh, jeez. Superstar mode, man. Just completely relentless. But I don't know. I mean, as a Devils fan, I've seen this story before. And it's possible that Sharks can make it one more game. But it's very possible that it's the Penguins' cup to lose at this point. I think if Pete DeBoer shuffles his lines enough, that maybe that will give them a win in Game 5. But it won't work for the next 3 games if they're gonna try to win 3 games. They're gonna have to outplay them. Like, if there's a chance that San Jose can get back into the series, is they have to outplay Pittsburgh. It's as simple as that. I mean, the last game, the shot disparity wasn't that bad, so I mean they're getting a little bit better, but the result wasn't there. I mean, so San Jose is learning a little bit, but they've got to find a way. They got to find a way to take it over. And I think the shot disparity isn't as bad only because Pittsburgh let off the gas in the third since they're up by 2, and that's one thing that Pittsburgh is just they just think that they're the best in the world and they can like lay off the gas for a whole entire period. Even if you're up 2 goals, it's not the greatest thing to do. Like, don't play prevent defense that early. There's so much time that the team can come back. Like, if you're gonna play prevent defense, wait until there's like 5 minutes left in the game or something like that, instead of a whole entire period. Like, yeah, they're down by 2 goals, but you give them so many chances to get those 2 goals back. I'm pretty sure it burned them in Game 3 when they had the lead and they just let go of the gas, and then they couldn't ramp it back up in time. So there is that knock on Pittsburgh. And if San Jose's down maybe 1 or 2 and it's the 3rd period, the accelerator might be even further put down, since Pittsburgh might think they have the thing sealed. So there's a possibility that the Sharks can take advantage of that, but you kind of don't want to fall behind and have to rely on that, to be honest. But I'm hoping that the Sharks make it. I really do. At least win 1 more game. I mean, if they can win a couple more, that's cool too. Oh man, I really fucked that one up. I'm stupid. I deserve that. That sucked. But if they can win 1 game, I think I'll be satisfied. And if Pittsburgh wins in San Jose, it sucks, but it is what it is. So I mean, I'm just in take it one game at a time mode right now. And if San Jose can win in Pittsburgh, then that gives you a little bit of hope if the series does go to 7, because you know it proves that San Jose can win in Pittsburgh's build. So there's that little caveat of information. Ah, oh, jeez. So, a couple of you know, minor little NHL news going on. I mean, it's been pretty quiet for the most part, but I guess the expansion to Las Vegas is almost good to go. People got to vote on things, and you know, after voting, then and a small deposit of $500 million, it might be good to go for, I believe, the 2017-18 season. And then there's a lot of rules and stuff that people gotta vote on too about protecting players and all that other wonderful stuff. So there is gonna be a lot of strategy going on in the next couple of years. Not even this draft year, and we're not even we aren't even talking about this year's draft. I mean, this year's draft, we know Austin Matthews is probably going 1. We know Patrick Lane's probably gonna go number 2, and then depending on either best player available or need, it goes from there. For New Jersey, they pick 11th, and I think they're gonna get a decent player at number 11. So I'm not worried. I'm more worried if they decide to trade the pick and then, you know, it's got to be a pretty good deal. Something Corey Schneider like, but it's probably hard to really do that. But also, and speaking of which, the cap is projected to not really go up or down, just stay at, I believe, 75 or 72 or something like that, 72 million. So teams that are cap strapped, that's not a good sign for you guys. If you're a New Jersey fan, they're way a ways away from hitting the cap ceiling, and with guys like Patrick Elias and Tomo Rutu and a bunch of dead weight players coming off the books, they're gonna be even further down. So the talk about the town is that New Jersey might be enticed to help a cap-strapped team up by taking a big Gigantor contract off their hands, although it's gonna cost that team. A good example is the Pavel Datsyuk contract. If Datsyuk decides to play in the KHL and not the NHL for personal reasons or whatever, then his contract is $7.5 million, and it kind of looks like Detroit will probably want to get rid of that. So, you know, if they trade a good prospect like, I don't know, Anthony Mantha or something like that to New Jersey plus Datsyuk, and you know, maybe we throw in a pick or something to make Detroit feel a little bit better about themselves, then, you know, I'm okay with that. I mean, some other cap strap teams are like LA, Chicago, always on cap strap land. The Rangers, although I don't think the Devils and the Rangers are gonna make a deal. Oh, Boston possibly too. And anyone going after Steven Stamkos that's not named the Toronto Maple Leafs. No. Oh God, Edom, come on! You, I get the perfect pass, and then you have to like baby it to the goaltender. Come on, come on, come on! You can do better than that. So the draft is going to be pretty interesting, but not for the picking part. I think for the more of the trading part. See if something happens there. Oh jeez. Oh my God! Corey Schneider keeping it a 1-goal game, keeping it alive. Um, but I think free agency is gonna be big, and what the cap strap teams do is gonna be big. But we probably won't know that until closer to preseason when the teams gotta get under the cap. I mean, you know, the Islanders got Nick Leddy and Johnny Boychuk through that kind of process, and they're doing pretty good with those two guys. I mean, that's not a bad haul for a couple of trades, and Garth Snow looks great. Oh jeez, you didn't have a stick. I'm dumb. All right. Oh shoot, Kucherov just got smushed. Come on. Awesome. Alright. Turn it up a little bit and see if I can get that tying goal. Look at this save. Save. Save.
Just over 7 minutes to be played. The Islanders with a 1-goal lead in this one, 3-2. Possession reestablished by Leddy. Great job slipping on by.
Come on, Neil Yakupov. Oh shoot, wrong-handedness. Oh.
Laid on to Leddy. That's a good solid hit. He'll feel that one.
Hansen. Ah. Lame.
Mashed in. Puck taken behind the net by Hedman. Looking to Johansson. Shoots one. Block that one. Strong.
So I guess I'm kind of just, I don't know if it's anxious or nervous that about tomorrow, game 5. It's gonna be pretty interesting, I think. I think we'll know if we're gonna get more hockey or not in the first 10 minutes of the game. I think if San Jose scores and gets the lead, where's the puck? Jeez. If San Jose scores within the first 10 minutes and gets the lead, I have hope that they'll capitalize on it. If Pittsburgh scores, I think regardless of whatever happens in the game, it's over. Even if San Jose comes back to tie, even if it goes into overtime, I think the Pens are gonna win it, and that's sad. If it stays tied at the end of 1, then I think it's anybody's game, because that means San Jose has kind of weathered the storm and quite possibly might be able to keep up with Pittsburgh. But that's a lot of ifs. I mean, things like shot disparity and stuff like that might take into account also. Of course, just like in all the other games since game 1, Martin Jones has to be on his game. If he's not on his game for even a little bit, game's over. Because I don't think Martin Jones can really let 2 win, more than 2. If he lets in more than 2, series is over. I do really trust San Jose to score a lot of goals, only because the guys that should be scoring goals are getting shut down. The guys like Joel Ward and Donskoy and those guys, those are the guys that are getting the goals. I mean, it's cool to see those guys contribute, but you need the other half too. You need the guys that are supposed to score, because you can't just rely on those guys. It's good secondary scoring, but it's just not good enough. And with Tomas Hertl out, possibly gone with like a cyborg leg or something, it's bad. I mean, Hertl was probably one of the hardest skaters like that I noticed at least in game 1. Oh shit. Checking from behind, boarding, take your pick. That's what we call the Steve Bernier special. Also, do not take any stupid penalties. Like, like ridiculously dumb penalties. San Jose's got to stay disciplined if they possibly can. I mean, it's good to play hard, but if you put yourself behind the 8 ball very early with penalties and stuff, you're literally giving Pittsburgh a chance to end it. And it goes the same for Pittsburgh. Like San Jose's got one of the most dangerous power plays in the playoffs. Maybe not so much this series, but you still don't want to give, those guys a chance to beat you. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, what a bad angled pass. I don't think I'm gonna get through this one. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, no, wide. And that's it. Another loss. This is looking really bad for me. 4th loss in a row in this tournament. But I don't know. Doing this stream makes me feel a little bit better. And again, like whatever happens is, if you're a Sharks fan, just be appreciative that they took down a demon in LA, and they had, they beat really good teams to get to this point, and the future is kind of bright. I mean, guys like Marlowe and Thorin aren't getting any younger, but they're still producing at a good level that you might have another year or two of this sort of run. I mean, the future's there, and you got guys like Jonas Donskoy who are developing pretty well. Tomas Hertl's developing into a better, complete player. It's looking pretty good. All right, guys. So that's it for tonight. I mean, this is a very short stream. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully the Sharks can pull it out and at least give us one more win. That would be really cool. But if it ends tonight, then that's okay too. Sharks did really well, and there's hope for the future. I don't know if they'll ever get off. I don't know if they'll get off that choking kind of moniker, but choking in the finals, I guess, is a new thing to talk about, I guess. And it's at least good to at least make it to the finals. So no live stream tomorrow, but I will have a video up if you're looking for Gundam Breaker 3. Episode 5 will be up tomorrow. So you guys can check out that. Maybe I'll have something over the weekend. I don't really know. It's been pretty hectic for me, so I kind of laid low on the streaming stuff. But I try to do what I can. All right. So this is John, aka Jin for 576 for Totally Testing. I will see you guys later. Peace.